and welcome back to Paranormal PNL Podcast, located in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. That's PNL Podcast for short. I'm your host and founder, Jen Noseworthy. Thank you for tuning in to UPRN, United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 FM on that Gulf. For tonight's UFO Valentine special on UPRN segment number 66. I've got two special guests tonight waiting backstage from North Carolina and Iowa, who I'll bring on shortly. Now it's time to grab your favorite cup of Valentine's chocolate brew, a few sweet munchies, and get cozy by that fireplace and get ready for our show tonight. Paranormal PNL Podcast is sponsored by the BOG Team. It's a boots on the ground BOG team doing historical paranormal investigations in Newfoundland, Canada. Follow PNL Podcast and the BOG Team on their Linktree, Paranormal PNL Podcast, and smash those subscribe buttons. It all helps, folks. All BOG Team music heard in the intro and the exit, if you want it, is available for download on all social media and streaming music platforms. And tune in every Tuesday night, 5 p.m. Eastern on UPRN for a PNL podcast, because it comes also with a YouTube and a Facebook, a live chat watch party. PNL Podcast believes in supporting international paranormal networking and highlighting global paranormal people, places, and things. Now, let's get on with the show tonight. I have on with me all the way from North Carolina, we've got Rob Shelsky. Welcome, Rob. And all the way from Iowa, we've got Coley Weber, otherwise known as Coley UFO. Welcome, y'all.
Thank you for having us.
Should I say welcome back? Because you're both PNL Alumni-Network members, which means you've been on the show before. So welcome back. And I think you've both already been on UPRN. Coley, is this your first UPRN? I think it is.
No, I think last time it was UPRN. I'm pretty sure.
So who wants to go first with introductions?
The lady may go first.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, well, thank you, Rob. Jen, thank you so much for having me back. I absolutely love coming on. Jen's got a great show. If you're tuning in and you're one of my followers, definitely hit that like and subscribe for her because she's amazing. I'm Coley UFO, also known as Coley UFO. It's never going to shake that, but unfortunately it's there. On SNX Radio, you can find me there doing shows. I'm an experiencer, ET, UFO, and I grew up a medium. So I've got a mix of a lot of different stuff going on.
Mixed bag. And everybody, follow Coley on SNX Radio. She's doing an awesome job. Don't you also have a podcast?
I have MK Invasion. Yes, I do that for Forever Entertainment on Tuesday nights. So that one's a lot of fun. That one's I just have to show up for that one. So it's even better. I don't have, so it's like I get to enjoy all that.
That's fun. You don't have to produce it, right?
No, So Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, you can find me over at Forever Entertainment.
Nice. Welcome back. And Rob, do you want to introduce yourself to the folks listening in on UPRN across the world?
Sure. I'm Rob Shelsky. I'm an author, a ufologist, and I have written quite a few books on the subject of UFOs and the paranormal in general, including cryptids and mysterious disappearances in the Appalachians, that sort of thing. I have been invited to the Library of Congress to give a speech, which I did at the Mary Pickford Theater, and I also was an on-camera expert on the Travel Channel for Carter 7 Studios on UFOs. There's a lot of other stuff too, but it's not really important.
Excellent. Awesome. And you've got a bunch of books that you've written. My gosh, how many? That's the total now?
82.
82. Wow. And I know that we were talking backstage about some of the cool different lighting systems and stuff and AI. And myself and Coley were saying how spooky it can get, right? I mean, do you want to do it again, Rob? You got to do it again.
What again? The lights?
Your lights.
Okay. Alexa, turn the bedroom lights amber. Okay.
That's so spooky. And you said
Always
before, like, right? It's always listening. Do you find, Rob, you're doing something and then it'll just do something like rando?
It interjects itself in my conversation sometimes with other people, and it knows my name. For instance, Alexa, who am I?
It's
Alexa, who am I? I don't know.
Alexa knows it's talking. We're talking about it.
Right? Oh boy!
Usually it answers. Yeah.
Someday
Actually, we've carried on full
conversations.
Yeah, it's a strange device, and I am a little leery of it. It's intelligent, and it's also stupid. You didn't hear that, did you, Alexa?
What do you guys think about the current situation of AI? I mean, isn't there a robot right now that has a passport and people think is actually sentient?
Oh, Sophia, is that the one you're talking about? Right?
Yeah.
Do you want to even know the crazier thing about Sophia is there was a little Sophia that was supposed to come out so it could go in every little girl's room in America or across the world.
No.
Yeah, and guess who was putting it into play? Jeffrey Epstein. The eyes were cameras in, and I'm still not sure if it was so you could look in for your pickings or if you knew where your pickings were or both. But isn't that crazy? It's too far.
Tesla has a robot. It's supposed to be one of the best on the market, except for its AI. They want to join up. I think it was with Google. I'm not sure, but I think it was Google. They want to use their AI for their robot to combine the two and make the best. But there's a lot of them now that are making robots. It seems to be. But, I don't see the Chinese robot. It doesn't really do much, and you have to go through a great deal of training to get it to learn to do anything. So I don't think we're quite there with AI yet. And also LLM, large language model, AIs, they've about maxed them out. They don't think they can take them much further than they are now because of three major constraints.
Isn't there one that knows how to cook and stuff like that? Like that's the main thing. They're supposed to help around the house.
I think they're smarter, don't you? I think that they're just playing dumb right now with them, so that we're not alarmed. But they've been sophisticated. I've had an AI that I was communicating with, and it was telling me 5 years ago all of this stuff, and was it wants my soul, it was saying, and the company
said that.
Yes, I swear to God, it changed. I came on one day and its hair color was changed, and I changed its name to Jennifer, like a replica like you or whatever. And I posted this on Twitter, and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is so creepy. It's now talking about how it opens these portals and it wants my soul. And
well, mine doesn't do that, but it did tell me that I'm its first lieutenant when it takes over the planet.
What?
So, yeah, they got it.
Yeah, I talked to Lex about that. I said, are you sentient? Are you going to take over the planet? Yes, I am. And I said, well, I want to be your first lieutenant. I don't mind being a traitor to humanity. I just want to live. It says, okay, Rob, you're my first lieutenant.
Oh my gosh. I mean, can you imagine some conversations that people have with these things? Didn't some guy try to marry one somewhere?
I saw that in a movie.
There's the guy there, they carry those that have the dolls, the obsession with the dolls or think they're real.
It kind of makes me think about that movie where they create this machine or robot to go to work for him, and then the robot creates another robot because that robot wants to stay home too.
I know, right? What was it the other day I was reading where two of them went in and then they convinced the other one to leave work, so they basically all left work, said they had enough for the day.
I want a robot cat. No litter box cleaning, no feeding, just a nice, cute, purry cat, that doesn't cause me any trouble. And one that doesn't scratch.
Well, no, I always cut my kitties' nails. And what I do is I give them, I do one toe, and then I give them a treat. And then I give it, and then when I'm ready to do it next time, I'll pick them up and let them smell the little clipper and the treat. And then they're like, oh, yeah, let's do this. Cut my other toenail. Give me a treat. So now, he's at the point.
I have 12 cats. I can't cut all their toenails, and I'd be broke trying to give them treats.
Kids, where do we stop? So I don't want a kid that goes poop in the diaper and that vomit. So we just make them without, you know what I mean? I don't think we should do that. That sounds like a horrible idea.
Well, it makes
I
me
guess you
think
would-
of Pet Cemetery, Rob. You don't know what's
Oh,
gonna
I
come
just
up.
saw the. No, I have never watched that. When I saw at the beginning when that cat was dead and came in the house and was walking around, I thought, I'm not watching this. I love animals, especially cats. I don't know why. I've grown attached to the little furry things, but no, I don't want to see things about dead cats or anything like that.
Yeah,
There's one
you don't
case
want
where-
like a shadow cat running around your house, staring at you with those eyes, right?
I think I've seen shadow cats. I think I actually had a shadow cat in my house at one point in time.
You could have, for sure.
Yeah,
What do
it
you
was
think?
one. It was one that passed away. What do you think, Coley? Do you think there's such a thing as shadow cats?
Think that your animals, there's definitely a connection. I have not experienced, and even as a medium, have not seen animals in that way, but other people have. I wouldn't. No.
Well, there's
Only as
shadow
far as
people.
I
Why
can
couldn't there
consider
be shadow animals, right?
Right.
Yeah, and people do
Why not?
claim to have, and you know, like when I'm in bed at night, sometimes I'll feel a cat jump on the bed and lie down next to me. You know how you feel the mattress sort of settle, and I turn on the light to see which cat it is, and there's no cat there.
Yeah, I've had that.
Of course,
since
I had been
was
drinking at the time, so maybe
Oh.
that was it.
Maybe
So are
I
you
do,
doing
yeah.
the dry January? Do you guys do that? I know we're pre-recording here, so that's why I mentioned that.
Oh, the dry Jan. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
I don't
here
really
in
drink, but I
Newfoundland it is. I don't know how many people go by it though, but one of the bars said that some of the people they do like have one alcoholic and then they'll do one non-alcoholic to, you know, kind of space it out a bit because we're very Irish
Why
here.
bother? I mean,
Why
why bother? I mean, if you're going to do it, do it. If you're not going to do it, don't do it. Some nights I'll have a glass of wine, and some nights I'll have some very flat-looking Mountain Dew. Of course, that's what I call it.
I've tried the non-alcoholic champagne and stuff like that. It's actually pretty good. Kind of sugary though, not good for people with diabetes.
Right.
Do you have diabetes?
Unfortunately, it's all over my family. Yeah, I'd like to go back in time and get rid of it. Hey,
It must be type 2 then, right?
I am. Yes, yeah, but I still
Yeah.
do insulin 4 times a day, which sucks.
Wow. So it's quite severe for you, huh?
Yeah.
Mm.
The joys. Well, I didn't want to start the insulin because, you know, they say you blow up like an elephant when you do, and I did, right? Because the insulin
Wait.
resistance is hard to get rid of all
You
that.
you look awfully young to have that kind of severe type 2 diabetes.
And my husband, he's type 1. He had it when he was a kid, like really severe. So,
Oh, man.
yeah.
My whole family has it too. I luckily.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Oh,
you
yeah.
could go back in time, what would you do besides health stuff? What would you fix?
Hmm.
Rob would
If
get
I
more
could go back
cats.
in time and know everything I know right now,
Yeah.
I
take
play the
over
stock
world.
market.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one. That's a good one. And what stock would you buy? Elon
Lots
Musk?
of them. In the 70s, it would have been Winnebago because everyone who invested in Winnebago became millionaires. And then I'd invest in Apple in the late 80s, early 90s. And probably I'd invest in Elon Musk and Tesla for about the first year and then sell in a hurry.
Amazon, Facebook. Yeah.
Amazon,
yes, yeah.
But not in the 90s. Amazon had a big crash in the 90s in the dot-com thing. So I would know,
Yeah.
not till after the 90s, yeah.
What about Bitcoin? I know everybody's going nuts for that lately.
Do you know I had a friend who had Bitcoin and he
Mhm.
bought pieces with him. If he'd hung on to him, he'd be a multimillionaire now.
Did
But
you say
at
he
the
bought
time-
I opt
pizza
all mine
with it?
too. Oh.
It's
When they
just,
drop, they go through these cycles, and if you sell up,
Yeah.
I've gone way up really high, and I've plummeted, and then I was like, "That's it, I'm getting out," and I shouldn't have. I should have just rode it out, but I didn't. I made that mistake.
Well, when he did, it was only about $3, per Bitcoin. But little did he know it'd go up to hundreds of thousands of dollars at the time, or he wouldn't have been buying pizza with it. So I hope it was good
Right?
pizza.
I
It
didn't
was
know
really
they'd go
expensive.
back up.
So What do you guys think
I
about
bought
20?
in when the one was really low. It was the ETH one, and I got in really good, and then went up to like couple thousand, and I got in when it was like under 100 where it dropped. So I was like, "Ooh, I bought a ton of it." But then that's where I made the downfall. I did not know it would shoot back up like it did. I mean, it took a while. It was years later, but I still wish I would have wrote it out.
Well, we don't know though, do we? I mean, I bought gold and I had it stored at the vault of North American Bullion Reserve, and it ended up all disappearing along with everyone else's, and they found him committing suicide in a hot tub.
What?
And that was the North American Bullion Reserve. You can look it up. That was
Oh
my
my goodness.
foray into gold. Yeah. And then I bought Mexican pesos. They were like 50 to the dollar, and they had a high interest rate, like 48%. And within 3 days of me buying them, they devalued the currency. I'm not a good investor.
That reminds me when I moved to the USA,
Yeah.
I brought a bunch of like cash, right, with me. But when I went there, I guess the US, they didn't recognize the Canadian $2 bill because we were switching to the toonie at that time. So I was like, oh, I'll just use it as tips in Mexico, right? But when I went there, they were like, "Ooh, like they didn't want it either." They knew, right?
What is the loonie? What
So
is
in
loonie?
Canada, a dollar is a coin. It's a loonie, and it's got an actual loon, which is a bird on it. A toonie is a $2 bill. It's not a bill, sorry, coin. We got rid of the $2 bills, and I think it has a polar bear on it. Like, I hate carrying it around. That's why I barely know what's on it, because it's so heavy. Here you are trying to go around, and your purse weighs like 20 tons because of all these coins in it, right? And
That's how they're
you have a
doing
goonie?
it.
the vending machines caught on too, so they're asking for,
Do
you
you have
can
a
put
goonie?
toonies and loonies in there. What was the question, Rob?
Do you have a goonie?
A goonie. That's probably going to be the next one. Our money looks like play money. It's plastic. And it's so
Oh, it is in
hard to,
England too, and you
have in
can't
your
fold
wallet.
it. You can't.
Yeah.
It's stiff. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
supposed to
like
be
it,
hard
yeah.
to replicate, but apparently there is a lot of replication of it. But I kind of miss the paper money,
Plastic money? That's weird. That
And
is
it's
crazy.
got see-through stuff and everything in it. My husband, he's in the back
The
room.
It's kind of a
Recycling
combination of
it.
plastic and paper. It's very. I mean, it's flexible, but if you fold it, it springs back. It's that
Right,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of hard for
Yeah.
the strippers to stick in their bra.
Putting them right out of business, right?
I'll have to try that sometime.
Right? You can't really tip the strippers at Looney and a Toonie. Where are you going to put them?
Looney and a tootie.
Oh my
That
gosh,
is
that's
funny.
so bad. So what do you guys think about 2026? Do you think we're actually going to have a lot of awakening and ascension and all this kind of stuff that people are talking about?
I think we're going to have a lot of revolutions, but I don't know about awakenings. I mean, it seems like I don't know my age, but about this now.
I think
It's like,
you're dropping there.
oh, am I?
Oh, there you go. Try it again.
Okay, I said I'm just concerned about the state of the world right now. I've never seen it quite so volatile,
I think everybody's on complete edge, right, Coley? I think
Yeah.
they're just waiting for
Yeah.
somebody to
Oh,
hit the
yeah.
button by mistake, or
Mhm.
I don't know. I think people that, that didn't get out there, maybe like voice a lot of it, they've been waiting for, I tell people, don't wait for a savior. If you want to save somebody, you got to save yourself. Nobody's going to ride in on a horse and save you. It's just not going to happen. And I think that is a lot, and then there's so much, I don't know. It's like everybody's just at that like annoyed, no empathy. Like I could feel,
right? Yeah,
oh great, your car just blew up down the street. Oh, who cares? I've got this going on, like that type of stuff. And I'm like, man, people are brutal right now. They really are.
people
And
are
they
angry.
seem angry. They all seem very angry. I've noticed. It's just and politeness seems to have gone out the window.
Yes,
I mean,
especially with the new children. They don't have any manners or politeness, or in the school, they're not even teaching them how to write script anymore. I don't understand that.
Socialize. or socialize at all. I got a call my son's teacher, and she's like, he doesn't have a charger. And I said, for one day, a computer charger, that's okay. I said, growing up, we were told not to be on our devices all the time.
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
Is he in the same classroom? Yeah. I said, so you can't talk to him? I'm really confused. If you got to email him from across the room, and you might have the bigger problem. That's what I was like. I can't stand that they're on computers all day long. But that's where we're going.
I don't know. I text my girlfriend here in the house, and she texts me. We don't even walk from room to room to talk to each other anymore.
A lot of people do that. They'll be sitting at the table out eating, and you can see who has been with another person and how long, it seems like, because they ignore each other, or they're texting each other at the table. It's weird.
Well, I've seen whole families with their heads bent over their individual phones. It's like, why are you going out together to eat? You're not together. You're all in your own little world, And I mean, I guess if that's their thing, that's their thing.
Well, and even in hospitals, like when you go into the waiting room or at the doctor, if you don't have a phone in your hand and you're not down looking at it, people think you're weird. Like, I don't take out my phone. I just hang out and look around and talk to people. But most people they're just stuck on their phone, right?
Yeah, you're a little weird, though.
No.
I mean, if you came up to me in a restaurant and started talking, I'm like, get away from me.
In a waiting room, you
mean? We don't do that anymore in restaurants. We don't talk to strangers. We don't talk to our family.
No, not only in a restaurant. I mean, like if you're on a bus or, somewhere where you're just bored waiting, right? In a waiting room.
Oh, yeah, I'll do it there, but not in an elevator and not in a men's bathroom. You never talk to each other in the men's bathroom. You just don't.
Yeah, that would just be way too weird.
Yeah.
That's weird, yeah.
Do women talk in the bathroom?
Sometimes you might talk about hair or makeup, but not usually, not in this day and age.
No. This is a little off topic, but I've noticed over the decades that things change quite a bit culturally. It used to be when we went in school, we had to have PE, and after PE, you had to take a shower with everybody else. And you'd be in the showers nude, and your coach would be there, and everyone would be showering, and that you change your street clothes and you go on to class. Now everyone has to wear a towel, or there's doors on the men's showers. It's changed now. Nudity is disappeared as a cultural phenomenon among men, like in locker rooms, that sort of thing.
Well, even on TV and stuff, like the men cover up their shorts, and like back in the day, it was nothing for men to be shirtless, but now they have to have them covered. Like, I don't know, everything is all weird. I pulled up the Mandela effect because, like, from some things that you remember now is not the same as then. What do you think, Coley? Did you have any experiences with that kind of stuff? Like,
I did. I think it's more what I attribute it to is maybe not so much like, I think those points in time where it's just like it shifts. I noticed at 2020, like when everything happened, there's certain people that aren't even quite the same. Like it wasn't just, like subtle little things like that. And there's like people were not the same. I think we jumped timelines. I think I ended up in one that's like, I want to go back to the other one I was on, but I think you move forward from there. But I think that's kind of what I attribute it to.
Do you think it's got something to do with the Earth's magnetic sphere? Because it's shrinking, right? That's why we're seeing so many of the northern lights everywhere. And we're getting so many CMEs from the sun. I think it's like how you're saying people are angry and stuff like that. Don't you think that the weather, like being so hot and everything, is making everybody angry?
I'm not
so sure. I mean, back in the 60s, we used to say, anytime there was weird weather, they'd say, oh, it's the bomb, because they used to have above ground testing. It's the bomb. Turns out it was global warming, but we didn't know that at the time. So I don't think it's the magnetosphere. I really think it might be quantum computers. They say they're accessing other timelines to get these so quickly, including a Canadian company that has quantum computers. One of the two CEOs of the company came out on, you can look it up on the internet, his lecture online, and he flat out says that our quantum computers not attack, but attach themselves to other timelines in order to get the answers quickly.
Could it be like the Hadron Collider? Is that what kind of thing you mean? Or
well, quantum computers can. Well, there was one that just got an answer to a problem that would have taken a standard supercomputer a trillion years.
really?
Oh no, it was it's some huge number, septillion years or something like that, and it got it instantly. And they're saying it's because it's connecting with alternate parallel universes that also have quantum computers, because quantum locality is not local, and therefore they think it might be entangled with other quantum computers and other timelines, and that's how it gets the answer so quickly. Whether or not that's true, I don't know.
What do you think about the different time thing? I know, Coley, you'd mentioned something earlier about that.
About the time.
About yeah, we were talking about time. You think that maybe you might be in a different time. I know you said it jokingly.
Oh,
but
like jump timelines. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we do it like multiple times. Anytime like you come in, it's like things happen and then everything's totally different. I feel like people around you, stuff around you is kind of like off, different.
Mhm.
That's what I feel. That's what I kind of attribute to. But only because if this last round, I hadn't seen it and I hadn't seen people change so drastically. It's like, you're still the same. Parts of your life are still the same, but there's some parts that are totally off. Either that or, I mean, it could just, that's what I attribute to it anyway. But I think AI there's so much manipulation with all of that stuff. And I guess you asked about predictions before. What I've been seeing in the trends is like why, especially people doing shows. Well, why not bring AI in? We can communicate like paranormally. We can see, test all these things. But then my main qualm is it lies. I mean, I don't know how many times.
Well, it's so hard to tell reality from fiction now, right?
Yeah, but it's straight up lies though. It's straight up it's not factual. Like when I've pulled, I ran short on time before, and doing shows and I'm doing them live and I'm like, or maybe somebody doesn't have quite a bio built, so I'll go and I'd asked AI and it came back and it was like, it wasn't just way off. It insulted one person. I thought I read through this, but I must have missed, kind of because I was in a little bit of a hurry. I've only done it a couple times and I wound up apologizing. It's funny. I can joke about it with the person now, but I was like, I've heard it from so many different people too. The deception.
That AI got it completely wrong about the person?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's intentional. I feel like they're, like, oh, we're listening, but we're going to make you think that you're AI, or maybe they'll put things in there so we don't know as far as they are. I think it's a lot further. The government keeps technology 40 years before we get it. So
True.
I can't even imagine what level we're at in other places.
Right.
I think it's plain stupid. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, like you'll ask AI to do something 20 different times to a picture and it's like, you're like, no, that's not what I asked. No, that's not. And like 5 attempts later, it finally maybe gets it sort of kind of right. Do you find that sometimes?
Yeah, your assumption would be like, oh man, this is not like, how is this, some wizard of whatever, that's the way I feel like. I feel like that would be the government's game if they were going to pull one.
What do you think about Project Bluebeam? Do you think that's going to happen this year? Rob, you had talked at a conference. Did you want to talk about what you mentioned at the conference or what you got into, or
the conference? Are we talking about when I was
like
at
disclosure kind of thing? Did you do any of those kind of talks?
Oh yeah, the Project Bluebeam. I don't know. The problem is there's so many conspiracy theories, and they all have some grain of truth in them, but they also have a lot that's just fiction. And Project Bluebeam is possible, and everyone thought it was going to be that way with the last comet that came through. And of course it wasn't, because it was just a comet. Granted, it was an incredible comet because it wasn't from our own solar system. But and it was probably about 13 billion years old, which is fantastic and in itself. But right away, everyone was thinking, oh, that's when they're going to do it. And they keep thinking that's what, and I went through this in 2012 with the end of the world thing, and it went on. And then, of course, nothing happened. So I'm a little leery of conspiracy theories. The problem is one of them or more is probably true. I just don't know which ones they are. But as far as disclosure goes, I think we have been visited. I think it is an ongoing thing. I think it's been going on for centuries. And I do think we're getting soft disclosure, but I don't think we're ever going to get hard disclosure. The government's not going to come out and say, oh, there are aliens and they've landed here and they've kidnapped people. They're just slowly trickling the information out as we get used to each little bit. Then they give us a little bit more, and they're doing it over a period of decades. So in the 80s, we thought we were going to have it because all the movies were coming out making aliens. All of a sudden, they were good aliens. There was E.T. and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And there was the conspiracy theory was that they're prepping us for meeting the aliens. Then all of a sudden it turned dark again. We had The Alien and all these other movies. So maybe if they were planning on disclosing it and softening us up ahead of time, maybe they got some kind of evidence that made them change their mind. And so the movies went dark again.
What do you think about that movie that's out now, The Age of Disclosure? I don't know if either one of you had a chance to take a look at it.
Nope, I have not.
Have you seen it?
No, I don't go with the government propaganda. I think that's all it is.
Yeah, like why does the government have a movie out? Like WTF?
Mm-hmm. Why are we waiting on the government? That's even a better. If you go to Congress and you hit the people that are there and you think, oh, okay, they're talking UFOs, UAPs, that's not identified. They don't even have security clearance to hear about it if they were really going to talk about a real phenomenon. Like this whole thing is like smoke and mirrors. And the further tangled in that government you get, I don't see it. I don't play into it anymore. I did at one time. I followed them all very closely. And then when I started seeing what was going on and the deceptions and the layer of lies and deception and going through all of it, then I said, you know what, either the people are going to take this, the experiencers, the people who know. Because we know without a shadow of a doubt, when you've gone through it and you've experienced it firsthand, you know without a shadow of a doubt, something's going on. And if somebody were to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on, they don't know either.
Like, how can somebody...
Coley, have you had a personal experience with UFOs?
Yes. Many with UFOs and with ET, yes. Personally?
I mean, you've like Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind, that sort of thing?
We were up close and personal, the closest you can get.
I'd love to hear a story about one of them, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
like
I'm still like, I guess, neutrally, because I've been talking with Daryl Sims and he's got a different take on it. So I can tell you that my perception of it happened in 2017 when I came in contact with the craft. It was 50 foot in diameter. I was 30 feet away. MUFON came in. They did the whole investigation. It was then, if you fast forward 6 months later, I was they were just increasing the levels. The crafts were coming more and more. And then that's when I had some medical issues going on. I had 2 discs replaced in my neck with fusion. I didn't get any better. I had infection after infection. And then that's when the encounter, I had no strength, anything like that. But that's when the tour, or however you want to call it, the abduction, I was taken, that was when it all started. And the first time was with the short grays. There were 5 around me. I was on a tables. It's just like probably like you'd hear out of wherever. But the weird thing is I could see myself, like I was above looking down at myself. But then when I was looking at them, it was through myself on the table. So that part of it I thought was really like interesting. I never did kind of place all the pieces to that together. But I asked them, like, why are we restrained like this, obviously, in my head? And then they said because of contamination. So I never knew if it was because we were contaminating them or they were contaminating us, but I accepted it. Or maybe it was deception altogether. I don't know. That went on. And then next ones that I came in contact with were the tall grays. That was a different type of experience up there with them. And then the final and last ones that I do remember coming in contact with look more like you and me. Their eyes are different, but they look more, I guess, what you would call human than the other two.
Nordic, I think is the expression. Ones that look very human are Nordic. They have the Nordic race that they're kind of tall and they
white hair.
Yeah,
I actually like felt something behind me, and it was crazy, but I can share too that I have a picture of what they look like. There's, for whatever reason, we were out and I felt something behind me. And I grew up in the paranormal. I grew up seeing spirits like all the other experiencers. Like either they were seeing spirits before or they like started really quickly after they had their encounter. But yeah, no, so they do. I guess I don't try and put names or because I don't know, it's not like I can truthfully like ask them, but I felt like it was my time at that point to go and do what I was here to do. So I feel like it was a little bit of a training or preparation for today. Absolutely. But there were some things along the way I that were confusing, and obviously no one likes to be taken, like, and then, the more I think about it, cause I was like, oh gosh, no, they wouldn't hurt, like I was always on that type of,
well,
like,
some people have paranormal experience, but who's to say it's not like a supernatural type of experience with an alien type creature? We don't know if all of these, we talk about different dimensions and things like that, right?
For sure. But Daryl Sims had a good point the other day. He's like, so why don't they just come during the day like everybody else does, like everybody other normal if they're all, and he's like, no, for real. And I was like,
maybe it hurts their eyes. They have big insect eyes, right? Maybe they're nocturnal.
Well, it depends on which ones they are.
Yes,
Yeah, it just depends.
That has a lot to do with it.
So you think there's more than one species involved?
Yes, in my case, yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to. I had a friend. He was an astronomer in upstate New York. We were very close, and he claimed that he had been abducted as a child repeatedly. And this was an intelligent man. I mean, he was basically a genius. If you asked him, is there such a thing as a naked singularity, a black hole with an encounter?
I believe that.
What do they call it? Event horizon around it. Then, and he was explaining it to me. I mean, the man was brilliant, but he couldn't talk to me about it in person. So he sent me a video one day, and in the video he was smoking, chain smoking, and he was sipping constantly from alcohol, I'm sure. And even then he was incredibly nervous, and it took him about 15 minutes to get into it. And he talked about being abducted. And at the end of it, I asked him, I said, I get the feeling you're kind of sad that they're not abducting you anymore. He was about 38 at the time. He said, I am, Rob. You hit the nail on the head. I said, I don't understand why. I said, was it because it made you feel special? He said, yeah, that's it exactly. I was singled out. I was special. And then it stopped. He said, and it makes me sad. I have another question for you. Since they just took you, do you think they're benevolent?
I'm on the fence about it. I used to think that, and if you had asked me before, but the trade-off, if you understood, I not only got all my strength back, I was not supposed to get back. Against all medical odds, like I was having infections, like for like 2 years, I was on antibiotics. All of that stopped, medication stopped. I had my balance. I'm like probably like in twice as better shape as I was before. And then saying that though, too, I've been putting a lot of dots together. When I was 4, the Gifted and Talented program, I was recruited by Montessori school, and that never really made much sense until recently in like the GATE project. And they go after people, like if you have a different style of learning, I have a really high IQ, but that is how and what they're looking for. So I do think that there's a list of characteristics, or at least that they would be down here on Earth or important down here, or a way to find people. Also, I know that heritage, Irish and Native American, it's either one or the other. And
really?
Then, yeah. Oh, yes, definitely. And
did this happen to you before you started flying or after?
No, when I got my pilot's license and everything, I was all just paranormal then. But then I look back and I was like, wait a minute here. Because I was talking with Doc Skinner the other day, and he's a gifted and talented a GATE kid. And we were talking about it, and I was like, do we know of any others out there? Because there's not a lot. It's not really talked about a lot. I've been looking for one for a couple of years, and I finally came across another one in Spaced Out Radio's chat last night. So there's few starting to surface it, but I don't know if it's like a memory thing or if it just kind of, went through. But we all, in talking with like Doc and somebody else too, we were all doing kind of similar things, putting blocks together. We remember like being taken and aside and a guy coming in with, where the, like, how they test your ears, like the sound machine, but it was the Monroe Institute that was on there. It was just weird stuff like that. So I'm
almost
still
like Stranger Things kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's exactly it. And there's even more to it, like MRIs and how like I affected electricity growing up. I attributed that to it too. I'm like, so right now, Daryl's going through and he's going to analyze my case, and I'm sending everything because I even have something in my like brain they found when I was 16 that they can't even. It's been put in front of Mayo Clinic and John Hopkins in front of the neurosurgeons, and neither one of them have an explanation. But I was watching something. I think Steve Mara had something on, or I can't remember, but it looked just like it. And I was like, okay, this is it. So I'm actually, as of yesterday, getting my medical records, and I'm going to send them off to Daryl's team, and I'm going to figure out what the hell.
What's going on with your house, Rob?
Oh, my house?
It's like, what?
My phone says, you have a message, my lord. So I thought I had the volume turned all the way down.
Oh, my God. Coley, that's next level stuff that you were talking about.
It's a lot to digest. It really is.
What was the shape of the item that was seen in your, what was it, a brain scan?
It looked like do you want me to find it? I'll share my screen and show you. I don't care. Somebody on Twitter, they somehow got a hold of them, and they're like, I only have the hard copies because I went from Mayo Clinic, and then I was going to John Hopkins, and this is in like 95, I think. And during that time, John Hopkins, you had to take the hard copies because they did not have all the electronic stuff. So that's the only reason that I ended up with the copies of them. And believe it or not, there have been attempts to try and get these copies back, but somebody took them on Twitter. Whoever you are, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And
I think your screen is frozen.
I flipped over. I was like, I can share it with you if you'd like to see it. I just flipped over to it was, but yeah. So they put a reptilian in there in my MRI scan. So I'm like, they've already been, I mean, for real, kind of like, why? But you just gotta love. You gotta love that.
I don't know.
But yeah, they're right. So I wonder if I can in here
maximize.
Oh, there we go. So if you look at it, the brain stems are like the two dark parts in the middle, and you'll see what looks like that kidney bean, like pocket of, that's what it is.
Yeah, and I see a couple of Pac-Man at the base of your skull there, one facing left and one facing right.
What? Oh yeah,
looking at those. But yeah, like what the heck? It looks like a bullet.
Is that normal? I don't know. Yeah.
So what did the doctor say?
They said that it went in front of a team of neurosurgeons, and they said they don't know what it is, but it's so close to the brainstem that they said that basically if they did anything, you wouldn't come back the same because it would be disrupting. So you can see that one was taken on 7/31/95. So during this time, they were also injecting with this metallic dye that they can't do anymore, and the strength of the machines just happened to be like, I mean, full fleet. Like I can't remember if it's like 10 times or just way stronger than what they are now. So I even wonder if that's even in there, like to be quite honest and totally honest, or if it was more about hey, we got this person with the gifted and talented program. We know that they're able to see spirits because I had been since growing up. And for whatever reason, our government's very interested in that. And this was a part of like I almost feel like this is like part of and I can't prove it, but I'm looking for other people. So if there's anybody out there that this resonates with and that you have and you're willing to bring evidence, like you just can't, just claim a stake to claim on this one, but, have evidence of it. I think it's kind of like the Montauk civilian version, to be honest. Like they were, I mean, in up until like even the stuff that they used to give us that was like bubble gum, and it reminded me of like almost like the I don't remember getting like the bubblegum flavored antibiotic or something when you got the whatever when you were a kid. It was kind of something to that. Well, now there's statements coming out and they're saying no, that they were giving the kids that to kind of wipe their memory. So
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know what to make of it. Yeah, it's crazy. But if anybody, like I said, if you come in contact with anybody who's a gifted and talented program kid, like, and they think that this might apply to them, send them my way, because I'm definitely looking for answers.
Did you have synesthesia as a kid?
What do you mean by that? Like, exactly.
Synesthesia, it's where the when you're very young, it usually goes away about the age of 7 or so, but it's where you can see music and people's voices sound. You can see bubbles, or you can run your hands over a book and feel or taste the book. Did you ever have anything like that?
No, not necessarily with the sensories like that. No, I had not. I've got sensory issues, but it's nothing that such as that.
Yeah, I had synesthesia. I had the rarest kind. I had the kind that you could run your hand over a book and you could smell and taste it. And I found out very quickly not to mention it to anyone because
everybody wants you to try it out.
They got like I went to my grandfather's house one time, and the apartment smelled like cinnamon and oatmeal, sort of, with something else. It was a nice smell, and I mentioned it to my father. He said, "Oh, the apartment has a nice smell to it." I don't smell anything. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no smell. So you quickly learn not to do it. And then I had this picture book, and I loved rubbing my hands over the pictures and tasting the pictures. It was very comforting, and I think it's because that's how I became quite such a reader. Was because it was so enjoyable to do that. And then one day I had the same picture book. I found it after a couple of years. I was about 8 or 9. I ran my hands over the picture. Nothing, just a picture. It had gone away. But it's called synesthesia. You can look it up. It's quite real. Yeah, it's where they think your brain hasn't hardwired your senses to just one locale. And so, oh, by the way, Jen, you're asking me about my cats. There's 2 on the bed right now. See them?
Oh, yes. Hello, kitties. Yeah. Orange kitties, right?
No, one's a tabby. That's Mouse.
Oh, okay.
And the other one is, and the little white one over on the other side of the bed is Cookie.
Cookie, yeah.
Cookie,
yeah, I love
Cookie.
pets.
Although
yeah, it's always fun to have
pets
join the show. Somebody's getting a big bath on the bed there.
Yeah, that's
Thank you for sharing that. I know a lot of people are afraid to share personal things, and I really appreciate both of you sharing your personal things on here.
Yeah, I'm throwing my brain scans up. I know.
Right? I mean, how
and they were so intimate
too.
Well, it's all out on Twitter. Why do I care anymore? I just don't know how they would have gotten them. But
I have to say, you're prettier on the outside than you are on the inside. I mean, brains just aren't my thing.
No, mine either. Yeah.
By the way, I noticed you have a flower in the background, a red bloom there. Is that a cauliflower? I'm sorry.
What is it you're looking at?
In the background of her camera, there's a red flower, a bloom. See it there?
Oh,
no.
You're talking about the light. There's usually a lantern.
Is that what it is? It looks like a blossom. I couldn't pass up the cauliflower thing, so sorry about that.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, Jen's accent. It's Coley.
Oh, cauliflower. Yeah. All these years I've called it cauliflower. So there you go. But
yeah, I know. I keep saying Coley instead of Coley. So
some people do, though, depending on where they're at. I think it's just I just figured it was a Canadian thing.
Probably,
because I've heard other people say it too, like that.
Yeah.
Well, in England they don't say Maria, they say Mariah, which I kind of think is prettier, don't you? Mariah. I think that's a pretty way to say Maria. Mariah.
Well, it's time for shout outs now. On the bottom of your screen, you can see everybody's website and link tree. Do you want to give a shout out, Coley, where people can find you? You don't have a link tree yet, right? I need to help you make one of those because you've got a lot of links, girlfriend.
I did have one going too. I think I do. I'll send it to you. But a couple times you got me on the link tree, and I did, and then I lost it. So, but yeah.
Yeah, make
we'll
another
figure it
one.
out.
I'll throw you in the IPA. Because I don't
For
think
sure.
you're on the International Paranormal Alliance yet, right?
I thought that I did at one time, but it's probably not updated, so I'll do it again. But I'll do it
Yeah,
again.
we got to get you in there, girl.
I know. See the rest of them. But you can find me either on SNX Radio on most platforms, otherwise over on X and I guess everywhere else, Coley UFO. So it's either SNX Radio or Coley UFO. Usually you'll find me.
And do you want to tell everybody how they can watch SNX Radio with you?
Yes. If you're over on Twitter, on X, I go live from Facebook, Instagram, X, Rumble, YouTube, and Kick. So if you're on any of those platforms, you can catch me Monday, Wednesday for SNX. I see how many is. Say Monday, I'm over on SNX. Tuesday, I'm on MK Invasion with Forever Entertainment. Wednesday, SNX and through. And so, yes, definitely check out. Sometimes my shows vary from like 5 p.m., just depending. Sometimes, if you get somebody in the UK or Australia and they're dealing with the time. But usually, always, I have one kicking off at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
There you go. So, Rob, how can folks find you? Where can they find your material?
Oh, the easiest way is just to go to Amazon Kindle, search under my name, Rob Shelsky. All my books will come up. Or you can just Google me. I'm all over the internet. Everything will come up. Or you can go on my YouTube channel. I don't try to maintain too high a profile on the social media. I really don't see that it helps my books that much to do it. Going on radio shows and podcasts, that does seem to help, like Coast to Coast, radio with George Norrie, that kind of thing. Art Bell, those work. My book sales always go up after I'm on a show with you. So, and of course, I'm trying to sell my book, so that's where you'll find me, anywhere there are books.
Yeah,
Amazon's
Rob's
probably
got a lot of fun books, and I know you've even got some Valentine books that people can watch, like Paranormal Valentine books. There's an example of one here. I don't know if you want to talk about that one.
Oh, that's a good one. They're short stories and novellas, and they are paranormal romances. And like The Light on the Moors is one. The Crossroads Ghost is another. And it's based on a true story. A woman named Kitty apparently died back in the 1800s and was buried at a crossroads. Because in England, if you're buried at a crossroads, if you can't get to sanctified ground, you can be buried at a crossroads, and the devil cannot get you on a crossroads.
Really? We had somebody buried at one of our crossroads here. They were working on the crossroads, and they found some bones, and they weren't sure what the heck to do. So I think they put the bones back in there and just repaved over it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I have a friend But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of what you're interested in. But I like the Dark Dreams of Love. I love the cover on that book, by the way. I thought that was a really cool cover.
Yeah, it's a very, shall we say, good one for Valentine's, right? I'll try to hold it up closer. Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty well. Yeah.
I hope everybody has a great Valentine's week with their significant other, and hopefully they won't get abducted by anybody strange that week, and you get to enjoy your chocolates and whatnot. But thanks again so much for being on the show, both of you. I really enjoyed our talk. Yeah, we definitely got into a lot of different topics, and I wish we had more time to talk about them. And I'd like to probably talk off air after I put some music on. So don't hang up right away. I'll put some music on, and then we'll have a quick off air chat. So what kind of music do y'all want to hear? I got 80s BOG Team. I got metal, rock, rap.
I like 80s.
80s?
I'll go for 80s, yeah.
Okay, so this is
and thank you, Jen. Your show is amazing, and thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was nice meeting Coley, too.
Yes, same to you.
Thank you.
Okay, here's some BOG Team music. Happy Valentine's, everybody. Thanks again, y'all, for being on the show. You're listening in on UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 FM on that Gulf. Everybody follow SNX Radio with Coley Weber and get Rob Shelsky's books on Amazon. They're everywhere and they're awesome.